Exeter rider, hope you're doing well. Now this week is my full review of the Benelli TRK 502X. Benelli started out as an Italian-owned company that have been making motorcycles since 1911, until they were bought out by the Chinese brand QJ in 2005. QJ have a state-of-the-art factory and are making 1.2 million vehicles every year and employing 14,000 workers. Benelli still have a big manufacturing presence in Italy, where the TRK 502 models and the Leoncino 500 range of bikes are still being made. In fact, for the last 2 years, the TRK range is the best-selling bike in Italy, selling over 6,500 units per year. Since I rode the 502C back in 2019, which shares the same engine, I was impressed by the engine's smooth power delivery and the deep burble sound from the exhaust. In this video we are looking at the 502X, which is a comfortable, engaging to ride adventure bike. I will take you through some of the common aspects of riding with the TRK, starting with what the bike is like to ride in town. So the TRK in traffic is quite a wide bike, so it's not the sort of bike that you're going to be doing a lot of fine filtering with and lane splitting. It's the sort of bike which will do it, but you do need to keep your head screwed on with it and know exactly where every part of the bike is. We have the wide crash bars as well down below, and although they look like they stick out on the photo, they really aren't too bad at all. The handlebars aren't particularly wide either, like you'd normally get on some of the other adventure bikes, such as the Africa Twin. Obviously it's a total different bike. But yeah, so although it doesn't lend itself to traffic riding as such, as a commuter, it's still quite enjoyable. It's not the sort of bike that is big, and although it's quite a heavy bike, because of the gear ratios, it's actually quite still enjoyable to ride through traffic. And that's one of the things I really do like about this bike, is that on other 500s that I ride, often the gear ratios are really really low, you know, so you're constantly changing up all the time. But here I am in 4th gear at 23 miles an hour, and I still got loads of usable torque low down, and of course it gets to mid-range, and the only time it gets a little bit runs at a puff, shall we say, is right at the top end. Hang on. Another good thing with the bike as well is the mirrors are excellent, very good. I can see above my elbow, and of course my road presence is good as well, not only because of the actual colour of the bike, which is a bright yellow, but I'm sat up and I can see above the car doors. So that in itself is a lot to be said for that, because you do feel like you're in control and that you are being seen. Over the bumps and the suspension is very nice, whether you're riding over curbs or doing a lot, you know, going over sleeping policemen. It's very forgiving, and certainly compared to the cost that you pay for the bike, it's very nice. Let's talk a little bit about fueling whilst we're in town. It's very precise. Even when you chuck it in a higher gear, it doesn't really complain. You know, it goes even down to low revs, 6th gear here. Where are we at? 1500 revs, open her up. Yeah, no complaints there. It will just do its best to pull you along. So on that side of things, it's actually very smooth. The actual throttle to turn as well is very smooth. As I say, with filtering you have to be a bit mindful and find your gap, but it will still do it all right. There's 60, 0 to 60 in whatever that was. I think they say 7.5 seconds, something like that. Again, you know, loads of power. I've still got plenty of roll-on power, even in 6th gear here. Still plenty there. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so out onto the M5. See what she can do. Now, this is a brand new bike. I'm not going to rag it. CMS has kindly lent me this bike, so I don't want to ruin that. Let's take her up, 4th gear. 7,000 revs, that's peak torque there. Up to 5th gear. That'll do for now. Now bear in mind that this is a brand new bike. It's only done 30 miles so far. I'm at 60 miles an hour. Let's take her up to 70. Getting some vibrations through the pegs at the moment, but again, it is a brand new bike, so I need to expect that. After 1,000 miles, that might go, and it probably will go. That's what my experience is telling me anyway. I got light vibes coming through the bars as well. The screen is doing a very good job. I think if you're over sort of 5'8", 5'9", my height, then you would probably want a screen extender there, because it might get a bit buffety. Yeah, I mean, this will comfortably do 80, no problem at all. It'll probably cruise around 85, and at 70, I'm doing 6,000 revs. Very, very relaxed. No problems at all. The engine feels like it's just where it wants to be doing this speed. If I had luggage on the bike and a pillion, I feel that I'm still going to be very, very relaxed. And so is the bike. There's plenty of power there at this speed. Let's just check the roll-on power a second. I'll take it down to 60. Okay, so in 6th gear I could knock it down to 5th. But that's your roll-on power there. Loads there, there's plenty there. Yeah, no problem at all there. So for this type of work, although it is a bit vibratory, shall we say, I'm really comfortable. My arms aren't stretched out too much. And I just feel like I could sit like this for a long, long time. I guess after a while, perhaps the seat might get a little bit hard. But essentially, it's doing a great job of this. So if you want to do some touring on a bike like this, I would say that this is a relatively good tourer, believe it or not. I wasn't expecting it to be, but it is actually a very, very good for a 500cc bike. Punching way above its weight here. Right, let's go over to the Walkaround now. So this is the Benelli TRK 502X. There is also a road version which has the underslung exhaust and the cast wheels as well, just set up more for the road. It's a very comfortable riding position. I'm 5'8", I've got a 30-inch inside leg measurement, and I'm quite comfortable here. You can see my leg here is also very comfortable. The peg's just slightly forward to my body, but I'm very comfortable, and the handlebars are at a nice height as well. So as standard, we have many nice features as well. We got the rear rack as standard, centre stand, crash bars here. The screen's quite decent as well, although if you're over a certain height, you might want a bit of an extender on it, but it deflects the wind around your whole body. They've also got some sort of deflectors here as well on the side, which push the air around your body. So although it can be a little bit noisy if you're going to be really picky about it, it is still quite a nice setup for that. For pillion riding, it's a very nice flat seat again, and your pillion's going to be really comfortable on there. For the pegs, their legs again are pushed out quite a long way in a comfortable manner, and also the exhaust is way out of the way, so there's no way they're going to get burnt by the exhaust there. So switchgear does look a bit plasticky, but you know, it's functional, it does well, it feels nice to operate, and it's all normal stuff. On the right hand bar, on the left hand bar, the clutch lever is adjustable, very easy to pull, and we have high beam, low beam indicators, a pass light on the other side, and a horn. So a lot of people are saying that these are underpowered. I haven't found this underpowered in any way. For me, it just feels like any other 500cc bike that I've ever ridden, you know? So, and I've ridden quite a few now, so probably 4 or 5, I would imagine. It doesn't feel underpowered to me. It is a big, heavy bike, and certainly heavy when you consider the 20-litre metal tank there as well. So when you're filled up with fuel, it is going to feel a bit more top heavy, but it's manageable. And I think if you're a new rider and you're coming into this, I think sometimes it does you good to have a bigger bike, because everything else will feel simple after this. They are the Metzeler Torrance tyres as standard, which is fantastic. We have LED lights all the way around as well, including the headlight. I have heard in the past, prior to the 2022 models, which had the normal light bulbs, that the lights on them weren't very good. I can't tell you what this one's going to be like, but with it being LED, it will be a lot better than previous generations. So let's talk a little bit about the spec about the bike. So it's a 47 brake horsepower bike that produces 46 Newton meters of torque at 6,000 RPM. It's a parallel twin, 6-speed, with a seat height of 800 millimeters. The ground clearance is a relatively low 190 millimeters. The carb weight is 235 kilograms, which I don't know if that's going to be wet weight or with it with no fuel in the tank. I don't know. But either way, it's quite a heavy bike. You can't get away from that. Suspension-wise, we have preload on the back, which is, I believe it's 5-stage adjustable. And on the front, we have these great big chunky, and they really are big chunky 50mm forks here, upside down forks. So they have really gone all out on building this bike, quite strong. It does actually feel a very strong, stable, non-flexible bike. They've done a great job there. But you can tell that the materials are not like you would get on some other bikes. I'm not saying it's a badly finished bike. I think the actual finish is good. But it's just the materials in places, such as the nuts and bolts, are a little bit on the budget side, I would say. But essentially, you know, I mean, it rides great. The welds are, you know, not the best either. So you can tell that they've chucked everything at it, but they have not chucked everything at the finish. But that's not saying it's a bad finish either. But what I would say, as I've said so many times before with these type of bikes, is that you do need to keep it under a cover or keep it in a garage. If you do that, this bike will last for years, okay? Now, I've been involved in the forums for a long time now. And so I've been checking over the last sort of probably 3 or 4 years how these bikes cope with reliability as such. There hasn't been many problems. There's the main problem really is the dashboard, I believe, can be very inaccurate. You know, one minute it's showing that you've got lots of fuel in the tank, next minute it goes down to nothing. So there's a bit of fluctuation there. I don't know how strong those crash bars are. It's hard to tell till you drop the thing, isn't it? But they've got a lot to put up with, haven't they? It's quite a heavy bike at the end of the day, but at least it's there anyway. So it gives you half a chance, and if you do drop it, which, you know, we all drop our bikes sometime or another, it does happen, then at least you've got something there. So good news there. Stood up on the pegs, which you might sometimes want to do. Hopefully I'm in shot there. Is again, the bars are very much a nice reach there, and I don't feel like I need any bar risers to be able to do this. I just want to say thank you very much to CMS Motorcycles in Exeter. I couldn't have done this video without their support. Very nice bunch of people up there, Chris and Derek, Roland, Dan, the whole lot, all really nice people up there. They deal with Benelli, Royal Enfield. They always have the TRK in stock. I think they've got 3 or 4 at the moment available to them. So go around and have a look, pop in and have a chat. And as I say, there's always enough to see there. If you could give it a great big like, that'd be really great, and it does help me a lot and makes it more worthwhile. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.